What's up, guys? Just wanted to make this video real quick. I just want to talk about tone. A lot of you guys watch my videos and you always ask me, how can I get my tone like that? Like, what are you doing to your bass? Do you tune standard, or do you tune flat, or do you tune a whole step down, or, all these different things? But yeah, let's talk about tone. How can you get a good tone out of your bass? First of all, every bass is not made the same, right? So, three solid tips to make your bass sound better, or to make any bass sound good at actually. First thing, you get a new bass, whether it be an expensive bass or whether it be a cheap bass. You get a new bass, get you a fresh set of strings, whatever strings you like. I use Pure Blues by DR Strings. I use, for my 4 strings, I use 45 to 100, and then my 5 strings, I use 45 to 125. You get you a fresh set of strings, you get your bass professionally restrung and professionally set up, right? That can do a whole lot to a bass. So when you get the restring and you get the setup, the string height is perfect, the tension rod is perfect, the pickup height is perfect, the intonation is perfect. Everything is, they might even file down the frets for you to where it's, there's no dead spaces on the neck. Like that has to happen. So whether it be a $10,000 bass or a $100 bass, you do that to that bass, immediately that bass is going to sound a million times better. And then also make sure all the electrical work in the bass is like together. Make sure there's no knob shorting out. Make sure the input jack is not shorting out. Make sure your strap locks are solid. Make sure all those things are good. And that way the bass is playability, everything is perfect. I get a lot of questions like, do you tune flat or do you tune, whole step down? I tune standard, D-E-A-D-G. I've always tuned that way. I've never tuned any other way. I will say there are a few times where I might tune down to like maybe B flat, depending on the song, but I only do that in sessions. I don't really do that. I don't really play like that. If I'm doing a session or something, I want to tune down for that song in particular. But no, I tune standard, and I just play in the low area of the neck. I hold the notes out longer. I don't make the notes short and groovy if it's not supposed to be that way. I like to play in the low register. So I'm not playing, I'm not tuned to A, I'm not tuned to B flat. I just play down there at the bottom of the neck. So if you want your notes to sing, if you want more bottom end out of your bass, more bottom end is not going to come from your EQ. Only thing you're doing is boosting whatever frequency is set at. You're not adding more low end. Low end comes from these, right? Comes from your hands. You got to play in the low area, the low register of the neck. I barely tweak my EQ. My EQ is always changing depending on the song, depending on the vibe, but most times that joint is flat. I might boost the bass like 1 dB, all depends. But I don't do like crank the bass all the way up and highs all the way back and scoop the mids. That's not how you get a good sound out of it. Set everything flat first. Get your bass, don't be cheap. Get your bass professionally set up. Get some new strings on it, whatever strings you like. And then start there. Set all your EQs flat and see what every knob does. You might not even know what all those knobs do. Like, take the time and see what these knobs do on your bass. And then when you use your ears, this knob does this, and this knob does this, and this knob does that. Use your ears to understand what the knobs do. And then you set it up to where when you find the sound that you're looking for, now you understand how to get there. There's no one size fits all, because every bass is made differently. But if you get it professionally set up first, you get it professionally restrung. That way, in your hands, the bass feels good and fun to play. Now then, you just go to the control plate and just figure out what those knobs do. Don't just start cranking up bass because you feel like there's not enough bass. Bass is lower notes, not necessarily frequency, right? So, keep everything flat first. Start there. Find whatever song you like, play in the lower register, and if you just feel like there's not enough grit or, not enough low end, then you just start boosting slightly, but you don't just crank it all the way up, and now you're just muddy. Now you just sound like a bunch of dirt. But I hope this helps you guys, man. There's no one size fits all when it comes to tone. Every instrument is not made the same, so you have to spend the time with it, sit down with it, understand what your instrument does, and don't try to force it to be something it's not. Don't try to force an Ibanez to be a Fender. Don't try to force a Fender to be an Ibanez. If it's an Ibanez, it sounds like an Ibanez. Get the sound that you can get out of that bass. If it's a Fender, it sounds like a Fender. Get the sound that you can get out of that bass. Ibanezes have great sounds. Fender has great sounds, but they're totally two different basses. So that's what I'm trying to say. So yeah, take the time, learn your instrument, and yeah, that's my advice to you. I hope this helps somebody. Peace.